audit AOG have succumbed to our fresh engagement by recruiting professionals who are supply chain professionals to be investigators and also auditors. As also said, let procurement people be also auditors. So that the behavior was, I think, of the past and was meant for illustration also. Thank you. I want to take this time. I know we are time paired. Can we have our mics? I know this guy has something funny. You can take a mic. If it's not there, I can surrender mine.
I wanted to make a contribution on the man from Bomet on the issue of construction contracts. One thing that I've realized from that discussion, it was very long, but only it zeroed into one thing. There was a problem in contract management because we have two stages in a tendering process. We have the preparation and then the contract management. So during preparation, it is the issue of the preparation of the bid documents, the advertisements, opening evaluation, opinions, and the award. Then from there now, we start another chapter. This chapter is the contract management. Now in the contract management, most of it will come from the bid document, but there are some clauses which are supposed to be incorporated in preparation of the contract. Now, when you are managing a contract, there must be a contract management unit. And in a contract management unit, one of the officers who should be there is the procurement officer. And the procurement man must be above board. He must be somebody who understands how contracts are being managed. He must be experienced. So in the process of implementation of any contract, there are site meetings, there are site visits, then you do meetings, and they should be regular. For example, maybe every month or every 2 weeks. So I am not seeing things to go that direction you are talking, a contract for 1 year or 2 years to take 6 years. Because it must have been discovered very early enough. And calling the contractor, what are the problems? These people who are calling engineers, the people who are calling engineers and the other consultants, they're reporting to the CEO of that organization, who is supposed to be the head of the PE, of the procurement entity. So all problems are discovered at that particular point. And by doing this, having meetings, having a very good contract management, you can avoid those things you are taking, the cost overruns, budget overruns, and everything. So I think the problem must have been from the PE itself. Yes, thank you.
Yes, can we take another one? And we be straight to the point, straight to the question, so that I know we are almost done for today.
Thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. I think they were very good presentations. My name is Beatrice Koske from Kenjan. My question is to the DG. It is with regard to something that you said during your presentation, that we can give a different professional opinion as professional practitioners when we are doing a professional opinion. My question was, with regard to that, can the CEO give an approval or an award based on your question, your different opinion? Because the opinion will be different from what the evaluation committee has given.
Yes. Another one, this side. This side means you are not active? Okay. Then you take to this side, yeah.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Robert Kazungu. I'll be quick. I have only two. One is about, we used to have those free trainings from PPRA, the time we were joining this public procurement. But nowadays we no longer have them, and they used to help, especially those from colleges or from universities, they used to have those insights on matters procurement. Two is about PPRA. Listening from the CEO from Bomet, Mr. Isaac, we have seen that there's a challenge from the CEOs, because we all know most of the CEOs' positions are political appointees, and also we have board members. So if the CEO gets maybe receives the heat from the board members, the same heat is passed to the head of procurement. So my question is, are you planning also to have a forum for the CEOs, even if it's for only one day? Thank you.
Taking it from the DG and ensuring that we have teams that work. What would make our teams work? Sometimes, as heads of supply chain, you really try to give as much advice, professional advice as possible. But sometimes, it goes in vain. And when it goes like that, then you find yourself at Mr. Wanjuki's desk, and you are kept wondering, what is the next step? We can keep strong for sustainability, yes. But I think there's quite a bit of things that we need to do as professionals. Growing up in the supply chain, working in the private sector I've been to the county, and I can affirm that whatever Wakili has presented here is none but the truth. Because I was at the county government at the beginning of devolution, and I managed to survive at the county for 4 years, I suppose. But before I ended, I think I was out for some months for reasons that he actually gave. And I was actually taken to a procuring entity within the county as a director, with the title of a director, but directing a small institution after some time because I was not able to play ball to things that I did not really understand as far as the practice is concerned. And I have so many colleagues at the county level as directors of supply chain that some of them are either sitting in some small hospitals or some procuring entities, and you have to survive for purposes of surviving. And that actually beats career growth. And you're wondering, how do you professionalize the profession? How do you talk to your juniors under the circumstances? When a junior officer has been taken to undertake your roles, and looking at it, you are unable to put the facts, or you're unable actually to convince otherwise that that is not the right way to do things, because it takes time. Yeah? So I think there's more to do. Either, I think the last time we were here, we talked about bringing the accounting officers together to capacity build them, to train them so that they understand the roles and responsibilities, so that we are placed at the places where we belong in terms of the table decision making. Because we are
starting with a question from Kenjan on, can a head of procurement issue a professional opinion contrary to the evaluation committee's position? Yes, that is. You can issue a professional opinion backed on facts directed to the accounting officer. The accounting officer is supposed to take into account your divergent views from that of the evaluation committee, then direct the evaluation committee to consider your position in light of the stand they have taken. I'll give a very good case. And I did hear on the question about why would this was raised by the council from Bomet County. whereby a tender is being awarded, the price is lowest evaluated, but the prices that have been quoted to pay certain workers are below market rates in terms of what is the minimum wage. As a head of procurement, you're supposed to invoke the circular that has been issued by the authority that this price is not the lowest. This price is abnormally low, and therefore it cannot be considered for an award. And you take it through your accounting officer. The same case can arise where you believe that the issues that have been addressed by the committee, either waiving a mandatory requirement so that it skews an evaluation towards a certain winning proposed bidder, you disagree with that position. So that is possible. The other question is on the issue of that some years back, PPRA used to offer trainings for the young graduates from the universities and colleges, but no longer does so. It is true that some years back, PPRA used to have reasonable budgets. Those budgets have shrunk over years to a point that we could no longer continue offering those courses. Also, we had a lot of support coming from some donor funding which was coming to PPRA. They have not been there, but we do hope that with the capacity building levy coming on board now, we should be able to go back to doing those trainings at a cost which is bare minimum or free of charge. Lastly, from my end still, I believe the others will take, from Elvina, how turbulent is turbulent? Let me start. How turbulent? Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, if there was no personal interest in this whole issue of public procurement, most of our questions would be sorted. Because even the budget to PPRA would be enough. PPRA would get enough budget. Now it cannot get enough, or let me say, it has not been getting enough budget because it is going to get into an industry which has owners. Why are we lying? How can you have PPRA with 66 staff, EACC with 600 plus? Ladies and gentlemen, 90% of EACC work is procurement. If it has 90% is procurement, then why have PPRA with 66 staff? I'm talking to my brothers and sisters. This is our country, and we will go nowhere. Most of those people who make those decisions, they have other passports in their pockets. When the Gen Zs were up in arms, ask anyone. I used to work in the airport. The traffic was high out. Just go do those numbers. Where are those people going? Because they have passports, is it? Their children have passports. We don't have. Mine don't have. Do yours have? Passport of other countries. Let me say, visas of other countries. But we are dealing with this animal called corruption, and it will finish our country. When I was born, when I was brought up, I didn't know a tribe. I went to the market. I was never employed by my tribesman. Today, our Gen Zs are saying, I have a first class. Another person has a lower second class, has a pass, gets a job before the one who has a first class. In the same job, same organization, how? It is a problem, and let us take it for reality. It is interest underlined, turbulent. Elvina, I know where you have come from. The reality is this. Just do the right thing. Just do the right thing. When you do the right thing, one day there's somebody who say, there's somebody who was here and did the right thing, he may not have seen the day. But just do the right thing. The reason is because the minute you indulge into the wrong things, you become part of the wrong things. If your letters come to DGPPRA, DGPPRA is compromised to say that in your institution you can have 2 procurement heads of procurement. What I'm talking is the truth. She's in an institution where a CEO wanted to have 2 heads of procurement. One called strategic procurement, operation. Yes. And what did the PPRA say? No way, stop it. As to whether it was stopped, that is the last statement I know we say, stop it. The head of procurement can only be one. And as far as we know, the head of procurement for that institution is X. Now, let's go ahead. You have had the issue about review of the procurement law in light of what the president has said. This is an opportune time to address some of those issues. If today I want to join the banking industry as a CEO, I must be cleared by central bank, true? For those who are in the banking industry, isn't it? If you are in the insurance industry and you want to be head of what they call principal officer, you must be cleared by IRA. How comes that there is no clearance of heads of procurement? I know some might say, no, don't go that direction. But it will sort out some of those issues where we hear, and you come from the county, one is being taken to be a ward rep as a director procurement just because he doesn't suit the systems of the day. Of course, if such information is there, you are recruiting a head of procurement where you have taken, the authority will ask, where is the head of procurement who was manning this position? Isn't it? But we must deal with those issues now. If we say no, you don't want because you will antagonize somebody, please, this is the time to air your views. If you have those, let us reinforce what Elvina is saying. How turbulent is turbulent? Turbulent has also to be dealt by people who are turbulent. Thank you.
Thank you. If you have something, especially how can we cure this whatever you have told us on counties? Okay.
Thank you very much. I think most questions were directed at DG, but I think I would agree that there is that need for review of the law so that we strengthen that procurement professional. We actually make it. We kind of, I agree, even including clearance by PPRA, because if at the end of the day the procurement professional is liable for giving their professional opinion, then they ought to be approved by PPRA. So I think one of those things actually be a very good thing, actually be strengthening the profession so that I know even in some other countries, even including even CFO, there must be a certain responsibility for whatever. I can see Senate already. If you watch the Senate proceedings recently, in one county, the head of finance was actually being put to task by the Senate, PSC, on account of the financial statement that he signed. So I think we may need to go that direction where the professionals are held liable in addition to the accounting officer. So that, and then of course, that appointment. So it doesn't become political. I agree with that, that colleague who was saying that at times you find your junior has been brought to head a procurement. In fact, you may not even be head of another procurement. You can actually even be transferred to be ward administrator or sub-county administrator. Totally a different direction. In Nairobi, I was being told it is amusing, but it's also very sad that if you were to be punished, I don't know whether it's happening now, but in the last regime, if you do not, if you're the guys who are running the show do not like you, they transferred you to Department of Agriculture in Nairobi, yeah? So I don't know where agriculture is in Nairobi, but I understand their main work is licensing of dogs, you know, those kind of things, eh? So it is something that is humiliating for the profession. So I agree we need to strengthen the profession by also then having authorization by the, I think, even up to accounting officers. Probably in the future you need to have a scenario where accounting officers, there's certain element of approvals somehow by some regulatory bodies, so that you don't have a situation where people are rock. An election is done. I think DG will see a lot of changes in 2027. After election, you'll find a lot of movements. People are being transferred, being demoted, because the new regime wants to bring in new people. Some of them even have never worked anywhere to head very critical topics like procurement. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we clap can we appreciate our panelists? Can we appreciate ourselves for being patient?